Welcome to the August meeting of the Waikīkī Neighborhood Board. At this time, I'd like your board members to introduce themselves, starting with Catherine.
My name is Catherine Hensky. I'm the Vice Chair of Subdistrict 1, and I've been with the board for 12 years.
Lisa Cabanero, Subdistrict 1.
Aloha, Rolf Nordahl, Subdistrict 1.
Tim Hike, Subdistrict 3.
Jillian Anderson, Subdistrict 2.
Shannon Smith, Subdistrict 3.
Ren Amu, Subdistrict 2.
Corey DeRazio, Subdistrict 1.
Ken Jacobs, Subdistrict 1.
Daniel Jacobs, Subdistrict 2.
Hi, I'm Lou Erdishek. I'm the Vice Chair of the board.
Bob Finley, Chair. We have members online.
Corey, I don't think that was supposed to travel.
Members online.
Oh, hello.
Yes, Sarah, go ahead.
Sorry, Sarah Worth. I'm in Subdistrict 1. Aloha.
Okay.
Hi, Melissa Felix, Subdistrict 3 Board Secretary.
Okay. We have Jordan again doing his lights and sound for us, and Anson, our neighborhood assistant. Welcome, everyone. This is online. First in order is normally the Honolulu Fire Department, but I don't see any fire department people. Next would be the Honolulu Police Department with their report for us.
Good evening, Lieutenant Kitagawa for Night Watch. Be going over the stats for July 2026. For robberies, we had 2. Previously, we had 0. Burglaries, 13. Previously, 8. Thefts, 145, or previously it was 156. UMVs, 7. Previously, 16. Assaults, 43, where previously was 37. Sex crimes, 7. Previously, 5. Bike, skateboard on sidewalk, 1 this month, and previously we had 2. For speeding, 0 warnings, 6 citations, and 0 arrests. Previously was 0 warnings, 14 citations, and 0 arrests. Parking, we had 1,409, where previously we had 1,534. Loud muffler prohibited noise, we had 2, previously we had 10. Park closures, we had 0 warnings, 94 citations, and 12 arrests. Previously was 0, 41 citations, and 6 arrests. Total calls for service is 4,681, where previously was 4,554. For OVUII, operating a vehicle under the influence, this month we had 11, where previously we had 7. Thank you.
Do we have any questions for the Honolulu Police Department? Board members? Oh, Catherine?
Hi, and by the way, everybody, I'm Subdistrict 3, not 1. You know us blondes. Good afternoon, and thanks for coming. Once again, motorcyclists are gathering at the zoo parking lot. And this has been a particularly noisy month between unsolicited firecrackers. Even though it's not the 4th of July, we're having big displays, people are gathering, and the motorcyclists are revving up their engines, running around the parking lot and racing down Kapahulu. Can you guys help us with that?
Sorry, what was the last thing?
Can you help us? I mean, it's hard to sleep when you've got motorcyclists zooming up and down Kapahulu at 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 in the morning.
Sure, I understand that. Yes,
Okay.
we could definitely get some more. I believe we were sitting in the zoo parking lot for several nights, so I'll make sure that we keep up on that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Melissa?
Hi, there's been, I know this is a HECO issue and I've been meaning to report it on the 311 app. There's been the street lights from the Domino's Pizza on Kuhio. The street lights have been out at night all the way down to Kapahulu. And so we've been getting a lot more of the, I guess we'll call them houseless, sleeping near the power plant on Kuhio, Denny's parking lot, Kuhio. And I'll remember too I need to report that power outage because it's been a couple weeks that all the lights on that stretch have been completely out.
Sure, tonight I can let our dispatchers know to put in a request for the traffic light or the HECO to come take a look at that power outage.
Other board members? Seeing none. Members of the community, John?
Hi, everybody, John Dutzman. Lieutenant, just want to thank you. I thank you personally over there. I don't know if you guys are aware, but one of our hangouts has become the post office at night. It's become a very busy encampment with anywhere between 10 to 20, 25 people camping on the sidewalk, the front steps of the post office, the front part of the post office. Waikīkī bid got involved, the ambassadors. They signed a contract with the post office, so they're the official trespassers, and the police work with them. And the first action was Friday, and Saturday morning clear, Sunday morning clear. Problem solved so far. Fingers crossed. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. If everyone doesn't know, we knew that was a problem and becoming worse. And unfortunately, we didn't technically have the jurisdiction for the post office because it's federal property. So our command and along with WBID made a coordination to be the representative so that we can have a representative to trespass, warn, and or be represented if we need to arrest over on that property. So it's a good coordination that we have, and so far it's been successful. Thank you.
Sir?
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Hector Euregian, and I was wondering if there is any way to improve the enforcement of the permitted commercial loading and unloading areas in Waikīkī, maybe allowing the HPD parking enforcement crew to issue citations or something more efficient than what we have now. Presently, the system requires that if a non-permitted vehicle is parked in a commercial loading or unloading area, a permit holder needs to call 911 non-emergency, wait for an officer to show up at the scene, show the officer his or her permit, and then the officer can issue a citation or for that one parking spot. Due to the non-emergency nature of the problem, the whole process takes anywhere from between 30 minutes to an hour, which of course for someone on a schedule is out of the question. So the result is that nobody gets reported. This changed because a couple of years ago was not like that.
Mhm.
So something must have happened. I'm sure you have your reasons, but I mean, we're paying like $200 a year to be able to have 10 minutes to be able to unload or load. And we cannot. There are some places like on Namahana Street that people park days on end there. And I don't know what else can I do to help.
Okay, is there any other than Namahana that you know?
The ones, any of the loading areas that have park meters, streets,
Mhm.
they tend to be like that. The ones
Okay.
that don't have any park meters that are clean, then those are not abused as
Okay.
much. And
Okay.
we're not talking about a visitor that leaves the car to pick up a sandwich. These are people that live in the area and they park, and I understand why there's no parking anywhere, but at the same time, it's becoming impossible.
Okay, we can look into the verbiage of that law and whatnot and see what we can do to help you out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Go ahead, sir.
My name is Serge Nicholson. I'm Waikīkī resident. My family suffers from lack of.
Sir, please stay on that side of the room. We'll get
Mhm.
feedback if you come in the middle. Sir,
Because motorcycle
Sir.
with loud mufflers.
excuse me, sir. Please stay over there. We'll get feedback. Thank you.
Okay, from here. Okay. My family suffers from lack of sleep and rest because motorcycles with loud mufflers roar day and night. I started my own research trying to get that information to help police, help everyone to realize what's the problem. First of all, companies which provided noise cameras on our Maana gives information that 72% of noise created by motorcycles. It's our most important enemy of our sleep and rest, everything. And I built a microprocessor system to count noises. It worked for days, 96 hours. And on this chart, you can see it's disturbing, motorcycles disturbing us 4 times per hour at night and up to 16 times per hour at evening. We have that horrible stuff, Waikīkī invasions doing by motorcycles from all around of island. We should do something with it because most of motorcycles visiting Waikīkī has illegal mufflers, and they create this huge number of noise. So, or police have to do something, or maybe you can close some section of Kalakaua from motorcycles to repel them, to not let them gathering here. Because Waikīkī having most of troubles in the island. It is most visiting place, and they making motorcycles party on Kalakaua every evening, every night, and the Friday and Saturday is most loaded with motorcycle days. We cannot sleep, we cannot rest, and I think it's a problem for many others.
Yes, I understand that problem, and it's something we've talked about many times on here. And I know our stats are a little bit low on that side for this last month. Just speaking from, I've been on weekends this past month, and it has been super busy. I'll just put it that way. Super busy with a lot of action because of tourists, schools out, all that kind of stuff. So not to give an excuse, but I do hope to see the citations, especially with the loud mufflers, to go up for this next month. So that's definitely, we can hopefully put our focus more to that kind of stuff other than response to calls as much this month. But I appreciate the feedback. We can't necessarily, I don't have the power to close down certain areas, but we can definitely step up the enforcement on that. Thank you. Sure.
Sir, gentleman in the back, please.
Hi, my name's Gilbert. I wanted to ask if there is a way to get enforcement on commercial activity that's occupying public parking stalls. So the Ilikai area, where there's that pedestrian down ramp that goes up, there's a hot dog stand there that for the last 2 years has been operating in an area and taking an adjacent public parking stall. And last night he was actually taking 2 public parking stalls. So here I am circling around looking for limited parking spaces while this guy is operating a for-profit business using public parking spaces. So I was wondering if there's anything that could be done to enforce that. And if I should be calling 911 to report that whenever I see it, because I was kind of hesitant to do so. But if that's the protocol, then I can and have an officer go there and actually question him for his permit or something.
That's the one closer to the lagoon side.
Correct.
Okay,
So
we can.
John's Hot Dog or something.
Yes, I understand. I'll look into see if he has permits or whatnot. I'm not familiar. I know of him, but I don't know about the permit status. So we can definitely look into that to see if he has one.
Greg, are you there? Greg, are you there?
Aloha, I am. Aloha, Lieutenant. How are you?
Good, thank you.
So, just to premise before I start, I am a Kapuna advocate in the state of Hawaii. So I serve as president of the Kokua Council. It's been around since the early 70s. And I'm the vice president of the Hawaii Alliance for Retired Americans. These are all union affiliates and organizations, the retirees. And I'm a former Waikīkī neighborhood board member. And a gentleman was just speaking about the loud mufflers, but the more pervasive and serious issue that we have in Waikīkī, and I'm going to focus on the area of Waikīkī, is the very early morning trash pickups that has gotten to be, again, out of hand, completely out of hand. So I've had HPD here 2 times, yesterday and today, this morning. I've been woken as early as 4:30 in the morning recently. I'm sleep deprived. I have a sick pet I'm taking care of, and it's overwhelming. And so I don't get a lot of sleep, but I had to call twice. I did speak with the sales director. I know him very well, Stan Hirata, and I haven't spoken to him in a while, and this has been going on for a while, but I decided to initiate with HPD. These drivers are coming. I asked them to leave. They refused to leave. I've had you guys come before where you've made them leave. All of a sudden, it's weird. Title 11, Chapter 46, Department of Health, it's a violation. They're also driving down the street the wrong way. I'm hoping you're going to do something. I'm going to be reaching out to the new chief, and I'd like to ask you, as the last part of my moment here with you, when do you think Chief Lazar is going to come? Because I heard he's making rounds, or at least I think he was either at Pearl City or he's planning to go to Pearl City, the neighborhood board there. When do you think he'll come? But I will be reaching out to him. I lived in San Francisco for 11 years, so I know of him. I'm hoping you guys are going to step up, and I'm hoping this stops, because you need to comply with the statutes, the laws, and during off hours, which this is, HPD, it's in the Department of Health's regulations, is chartered to go and address this. So could you maybe just shed some light on that?
That's the waste management, the city and county waste
Honolulu
management?
Disposal Service, Inc.
Okay. I think there was some look into that before regarding, I believe they had a coordination with the city, but I'll look into that. I don't know the specific rules or their agreement on when to do it. I know there had to been something to do with the traffic. They needed to do it before there was a lot of traffic out there, but I'll definitely look into see what the status of that rule is, but I understand what you're citing too as well. As far as the chief.
I was just going to say, just to make it easier for you, we were working as a public group. There was a town hall meeting right there where you're at right now. Mayor Blanchiardi, I was part of that. I spoke at that event. There was an agreement to, at a minimum, in hot spots where people were complaining, not before 6 a.m. And that's not even compliant to state law. But now they've gone backwards on that. And so all I'm asking is that HPD just enforce the law, learn Title 11, Chapter 46, make sure all of your officers are aware if they're driving down the wrong way of the street, one-way street, facing the opposite direction, driving fast, cite them. So I have video of all of it, and I'll be sharing this more with the very extensive email list that we have. And now that Managing Director Formby is gone, we've got Krishna there. He needs to step up and do something. So we'll see what happens. By the way, lastly, I had all 3 candidates that are running for the District 4 council chair seat, or a council seat, not council chair seat, but the one that Council Chair Waters has, agree and say they will do something about this. So one of them is going to get in. Oh, well, now only one of 2. And we'll see what happens there. But they all agreed. I had them at a candidate forum that I hosted.
Thank you, Greg. You've
you.
gone over your 2 minutes. Daniel?
Thank you, Chair. Daniel Jacobs, Subdistrict 2. Thank you, Officer. I just want to commend Mr. Nicholson and kind of shed some opinions on what he's brought to me. I don't know if anybody sees it, but he's bought a device that is a professional, I forget the word's not coming to me, but it measures noise. And this chart he's put together measured from August 7th to August 11th, so just last week. And my understanding is that he set this device to only register when it was hearing loud muffler noises, not sirens, not people yelling, just loud mufflers. And so on those settings alone, this device from August 7th to August 11th registered 546 events, noise events. What was the decibel level set at? So 90. So this is above, what we should be hearing. And I believe you're in the 26th floor of your apartment, correct? That's where you're measuring this from. So, 546 incidents. and you guys too. So that's over, I know you guys are busy. I think the Public Safety Committee is developing some opinions on the amount of police officers that are needed to respond to every incident, and my concerns of poolings of police officers in the community. This too is not appropriate when there's 546. To any credit, this device is reasonably, even somewhat reasonably accurate. That's 546 times, and if you look at it, it's happening in the wee hours of the morning on every weeknight. So, talk's talk. We've heard it. I don't think there's been another issue that's been concerned or raised by this board for the length of its history, from my understanding, the noise. So maybe I'm hopeful this board is finally the board that can convince you guys to actually stop talking and do something. Thank you.
Tim?
Thank you. Aloha, Lieutenant. Thank you for what you do. I just want to remind everybody that we do have a public safety committee that deals with nothing but public safety issues for an hour and a half. So if you have any concerns regarding laws that aren't being enforced or problems that you want the police department to be aware of, that'd be a great opportunity to talk one-on-one with the officer. You can also join online if you can't come in person. And that way, we won't have to take up as much time during the meetings, especially now that we have a deadline of 8:30. So I just want everybody to be aware of that. And noise is an issue that we've been dealing with. I'll get into it in my committee report later. But we're looking at some legislative issues. Loud mufflers is actually an infraction. A police officer has to actually witness it. Having all kinds of previous documentation doesn't exist. Disorderly conduct is a crime, but an officer can't be a victim of that, and the officer has to witness it. So there are some limitations to certain things that we can do. We are working on some legislative issues with Senator Milwaukee, Chair Waters, and Representative Tam. But I just wanted to remind everybody, we do have a Public Safety Committee meeting. We got an hour and a half to talk about nothing but cop stuff. So please come to that meeting, and you'll probably get more response because it's more one-on-one. Thank you.
Renee with the last question.
Excuse me, sir, do you have a copy? Can I see your report?
Yeah, mine.
Do you have an extra copy? Perfect, thank you.
Okay. We've gone through everybody. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening.
I don't have a report from BWS. Next on our agenda at the last meeting, Jillian was nominated for Subdistrict 2 Vice Chair, and she was not here, so we could not vote on her. Are there any other candidates for Subdistrict 2 Vice Chair? I see none. Do we have to do a roll call on that? No. Is there any objection to Jillian filling the position? Seeing none. Jillian, welcome to the extra work of Subdistrict 2. Sounds like the fire department's coming. Before we continue, I'd like to congratulate everyone who ran for office. I'd like to congratulate everyone who voted. Congratulate the fire department as they roar by. So we have one more election coming up. I hope that our turnout in Waikīkī will be as good or better than we had for the primary election, which we can work on from now till then. But thank you, everybody. We now go into public concerns. We have a 2-minute limit on items. Do we have anyone with a item that is not on the agenda that they would like to bring to our attention? Yes. Lady walking up there. And please use the microphone on this side of the room so we don't get feedback.
Hi, my name's Nicole Anchetta. Again, coming about the bathrooms down the street. The Cohio Beach bathrooms have been closed for 4 years. I've been here multiple times, multiple emails, They said parts were ordered due to malfunctioning parts were ordered last September. They said 6 to 8 weeks. December, I called, still waiting for parts. Nate said it was going to be open March 2nd. Nothing happened. I think maybe they worked on it for a moment at that time. And then they made an announcement. Oh, wow, parts, we got the parts warranty. They're coming. So now the parts are here, supposedly, again. They did open the bathrooms on Thursday to work on it. I saw the work getting done. But now there's an electrical issue. But maybe the beginning of the year when they tried working on it, I ran into Alakai Mechanical and they told me there was an electrical issue. So this isn't anything new. So I'd like a specific update, what's going on with these bathrooms, because it's just a runaround for the past year. There's no, the only, they give that we can walk a quarter mile to another bathroom. And then along with Parks and Recs, that area just down the street on Ohua, they used to clean it daily for a decade. I've seen them cleaning it daily. Now it's every now and then. The showers are getting pooled with water, which is a staph infection waiting to happen. People are playing in the pond right there. I asked them to put up a sign because it's disgusting. Tourists let their kids play in there. And it's either full of bleach or the homeless bathe in there, unfortunately, at night. So I especially want to get clear answers on this bathroom. I've been dealing with it almost every week from the mayor to Nate, and it just seems like full of excuses.
Thank you. Other people in the community, sir?
Hi, good evening. My name is Jason Liang. I just want to comment on a question I asked at the last meeting regarding the EAH housing. I mentioned, my question was whether or not there would be a AMI requirement. For example, the different percentages, whether the building would house a certain number of residents with that AMI. And I just want to clarify that I want this housing to be developed, but that people who earn 30% AMI and under are severely underserved when it comes to affordable housing. So I would just like to ask that the board keep that in mind as this project is going up, to request the developers to commit to a certain number of folks who are extremely underserved. And then additionally, just as a PSA, I want to mention that on July 17th, there was the inaugural Property Tax Committee meeting. We discussed a Proposition 13-like proposal to the city and county. That is a proposal in which they freeze the property tax assessed value at the time of sale. I believe the proposal that is being discussed is one that would limit property tax value increase to 2% per year. And if you would like to attend that meeting, you can email Bruce Wong. His email is bwboom@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Tim?
Good evening. Just to everybody's attention, tomorrow morning city council meeting, Chair Waters introduced 2 bills that have to do with us. Bill 52 is peddling. So you go, I don't know, maybe some of you ever walk down Kalakaua? I'm there every day. Illegal peddling goes on all the time, usually involving fraud. So I hope everybody would support that. Bill 53 is a shopping cart ban. Not only is it a health hazard for us, it blocks sidewalks, blocks streams and everything, but it also increases your groceries. Anybody here go grocery shopping? Anybody? You wonder why you pay $8 for a loaf of bread at Safeway? Has to do with the shopping cart. Has to do with the shoplifting. Safeway doesn't enforce shoplifting. Their shopping carts, along with other retailers, are all over the island. City and county picked up over 3,000 shopping carts last year. 3,000 shopping carts, average cost of a shopping cart anywhere from $380 to $1,000. Grocery stores are not insured. That goes to the bottom line. The only way they can recoup that is to raise the prices of your groceries. So you're paying for it. Every one of us. Please support this. It's going to lower your cost for a loaf of bread. The other issue I want to bring up very quickly, I did not appreciate my vote being thrown in the toilet. I hope the board at the next meeting will put it on the agenda that we're not happy about our vote being nullified. I'm extremely upset with this. I voted for 50 years. I have never had this happen. The city clerk, I'm going to demand that he resign tomorrow at city council meeting. All of us were put in a bad position by having our votes taken away. I hope the board will put this on the agenda and send a message. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, my name is Arslan Calloway. I'm here on behalf of my father-in-law as well, Alexander. And I want to raise a concern about a newly founded food court on Kioniana and Kalakaua. We had a few issues with them from start. First of all is the music. They started nonstop. They keep playing it. It just too much noise. We keep hearing it. We keep hearing it from various times, nonstop. It doesn't stop on the weekends. My father-in-law, he can't take a rest. It's concerning for him. So much food smell when the wind blows. And we had to call the police twice on them. They suggested us that we come to this meeting. That's why we're here. So we were just wondering what is the next step for us to do, because we want them to follow the rules of the decibels levels on their property, because our building is right next to the food court, and we just keep hearing everything. And it's not just one wagon or two, it's I believe it's 8 of them there already, and it's very loud for us. We can't open our windows because it's too loud, too noisy, and it's super hot days nowadays. Our apartments are pretty hot now, so that's why we're here.
What is the location, sir?
Kioniana and Kalakaua Avenue. It's near 419 Kioniana Street.
I know that they are working on a bill at city council to address that, but I'm not sure where it is in the process. But
Sure.
later on, we'll have our representative from city council here. Yep.
Okay.
Daniel?
Sure. Hey, Chair Finley.
Yeah, Sarah, go ahead.
Oh, is it possible? I love the fact that you told him to stay for the council member to speak, but I haven't seen him before. So would it be possible to explain to the people in the audience that this right now, the public things not on the agenda, is not their only chance to bring these issues up? Like you said, you recommended that they stay and mention it to the council person. And also the lady who's speaking about the bathrooms, I know Trevor will be speaking later. And he's a much better point person and more proactive than city and county at getting problems solved. So would that be possible to relay that to them?
Trevor won't be with us tonight, but I'll email him in the morning. Okay, Daniel?
Just real quick, I know the owner of that property. He came and presented to this board when he set up the food court on the other side, of the building. So I'll reach out to him, but also I think you should know that another group came and presented to this board. They're going to build some sort of college or university, private school in that location. So I believe there's going to be like a 9, 10, 11-story building going up there before too long. But they came and presented to this board. I don't know if anybody else remembers. And then after they presented, they turned it into the food truck court. So I'm not sure if that initial plan that they came and presented on was scrapped, but I'll reach out to the owner and work with you offline, see if I can get you in touch with them. It's the food court you're talking about. The food court you're talking about on Keoneana and Kalakaua, they're going to build a 9-story, 11-story building there that's going to be a private college or university. They came and presented to this board, and I saw some nods. So I don't think that's going to be there long one way or the other. But like I said, when they came and presented, that location was just the empty lot, the former the car rental place. And then it became the food court. So I don't know if the plan they came and presented was like, scratched and now it's permanently a food truck, but I don't think so. I think they're going to build a building there. But yeah.
Other members of the community, sir?
Hi, Gilbert again. I wanted to let everyone know, and this is probably for the city, that same area by the Ilikai, which has public parking, is available till 10:30, then the parking lot closes. I have witnessed the towing company who's been contracted by the city towing cars as early as 10:10. I've took photos and I've submitted it to the police just so that when the person who returns to find their car is missing, they'll know that their car was towed before 10:30. So I think the towing company is not operating within their parameters, and whoever from the city is awarding contracts should actually take a look at that, because it was a tourist, I think, a Jeep. So it's hurting us more than just in tourism. Yeah. So anyway, I want to report that.
John?
Follow up to what Tim presented, is there any way formally the board can support Tommy's two ordinances? It's going to take a while for them to percolate, but I think we should support that as a board, if you put it on the agenda. Shopping carts and the vendors, we've been talking about this stuff for a long time. Thanks.
Unfortunately, they're not on the agenda. However, I encourage any board member who has an opinion to go down and testify.
No, I mean, this is first reading, so this thing's going to percolate for several months, the way this works.
Yeah.
So my point is, by next meeting, maybe we can take a position on it and help. It's not going to be decided tomorrow.
Okay. Jillian, can you put that on your agenda for the thing? Okay, Laura Ruby, I see you on here.
Yes, hello, good evening. Yes, I have 4 quick things. One, I would like Chair, I'd like to have a presentation on the ferry across the Alawai Canal for your next agenda next month. It's a quiet, a small, low-cost way of several different places where it could be crossing, and think of the vistas that you gain by having a small transit. Second of all, I'd like you as a board, and I'm going to ask for other boards too, to sponsor clean elections legislation. That is no PAC money and various other things too. That would be a committee perhaps you put together. I'm going to ask all the boards to do that. And third is that both the Makali Mo'ili and the Manoa boards both have flood mitigation committees. And I think that it's really appropriate that you folks have them also, because things that are going to be happening down your way also. And then the last concern is a committee be set up for transportation, specifically for the rail, because you folks are going to get, I don't want to say shafted, but you're going to get the big pillars and big things going over. Which way do you want it to go? Do you want to go on grade, on a streetcar, or do you want to go up and cross your 9th floor window or something like that? It's going to be up to you folks to start the decision making, and we're going to follow doing it also, because it's going to go right through our 2 neighborhoods also. So I appreciate you folks to be proactive. We can do it if we do it as community. Bottom up, community is all important. Thank you.
Okay, I see Greg. Greg, are you on there?
I'm here. Aloha. Greg Masakian. Just to clarify, I think I got it right from the presentation that was done not that long ago at the Waikīkī Neighborhood Board meeting. The project where the food trucks are currently, there's 2 sets of food trucks, but the one that was just mentioned,
The screen froze.
Hawaii. I have a concern
Okay.
with a building. I'm going to bring it up later, so I'll just mention there's a project, a 50-unit affordable housing project on my street, right next to the building I live in, excuse me. That's the sleep deprivation with my words from not sleeping due to Honolulu disposal service, but that we'll get to that later also. But this building currently is not on a building permit. So it's on what the city likes to use sometimes, and they tend to use it a lot more now, called a special assignment inspection. And unfortunately, that doesn't give you that a building permit of inspections and things, unfortunately, don't happen. It allows the developer to go forward and promises made, hopefully promises kept. There are levels of inspection, but it's not the same as the building permit process. I'm very concerned with that. They've kind of taken over our street, and it seems like they're using a friend and family with A-frames that I don't see even a building permit for that on the street. So I do have concerns with that. And lastly, I'll say at the last Waikīkī Neighborhood Board meeting, you reduced the time that wasn't on agenda. I don't know if you're allowed to do that. I never had a chance to reach out to OIP, but in my opinion, that should have at least been on agenda so that people would know you were going to do it, because you actually did it at that meeting. You reduced the time to 8:30 earlier on in the meeting, and then you didn't have enough time to finish the meeting. So we're here as the public for getting issues discussed and addressed. A lot of people aren't going to go to the extra meeting that was mentioned by Tim earlier. I appreciate that that's there, but this is the meeting where I think most people want to come to. And HPD is here, and you know we're spending money on HPD for the other meeting, for their overtime or their extra time. So that said, I just hope you guys respect the public a little bit more. I was shocked that you guys did that, and you know I see there's less on the agenda today, and I'll stop with that. I know my time is up. Those are my concerns, and I will raise the other issue later when we have whoever's there for City Council or the Mayor's office.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other community concerns? Seeing none, we will move on. Scheduled events that I've pulled off the city's website. And they may start a little bit earlier, may get done a little bit later, or whatever. On Saturday, September 19th, 2 p.m. to midnight, we have the Aloha Festivals Waikīkī Ho'olaulea annual event. Saturday, September 26th, 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., the annual Aloha Festivals Floral Parade. I believe this is the 80th one in a row, except for COVID years. Friday, August 14th, I found this on the newspaper. 14th to the 24th, they'll have the annual Duke's Ocean Festival events. So there will be traffic on Kalakaua at Kohio Beach for this event. And I think some of the events are, you have to pay. I'm not sure how that's all working. So that's coming up very quickly at the end of this week. Liquor licenses, the only one requested was the Ochira Mama Waikīkī restaurant at 2490 Kalakaua. They're asking for a special license starting September 1st through this year through August 31st, 2027. And that's to give the Liquor Commission time to schedule them for a formal hearing. I have no other information on that. Tonight, the mayor's representative, Nola, are you? There's Nola.
Good evening, Chair Finley and members of the Waikiki Neighborhood Board. Aloha, thank you for having me. I have a short report this month, I guess summertime. So a couple highlights from the mayor. I think it was announced in the news, but I just wanted to let everybody know that the city has designed a new all Hawaii driver's license and identification card. And you've probably seen it on the news, but it's a rainbow design. It's slightly different. It's pastel, but the key thing about this design is that it has all these features that prevent counterfeiting and identity theft and fraud. So that's the main reason it was designed the way it looks. And on the back, I love the humu humu nuku nuku apua and the coral reef, but it's a beautiful card. And you don't have to get a new card until your driver's license or state ID expires. But they have just rolled out this new one for everyone's benefit and especially to prevent fraud and theft of the driver's license. We have a new Honolulu Police Chief, David Lazar, who we are very happy to welcome. And I know that seems to be very hands-on, very innovative, forward-thinking chief, and that's why he was hired. He came from San Francisco, and his wife's family is from the island of Oahu. So I do know that he is very aware of the priorities that the mayor has placed for Waikiki in terms of his force. And so I believe he will be out, with his officers from time to time. He's personally going to be, I think, visiting all the boards and all the neighborhoods on the island. We have also a Purple Heart specialty license plate for anyone who has a Purple Heart, and it says combat wounded, and it looks like the old rainbow design of our plate, but it has a special feature on it. And if anybody who is an eligible combat wounded veteran can purchase the Purple Heart license plate for $5.50. It's a one-time fee. Okay, and there's a couple other, news. I think what might be of interest. So the city has lowered the school zone speed limit from 25 miles an hour when children are present to 20 miles per hour when children are present it's actually between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. on school days. And so the city will be installing and replacing school zone signage within 1,000 feet of the school. And there are more than 200 schools on our island. So it's probably going to take a couple of years to get to all the schools, but I think that's a really helpful improvement. Another item that might be of interest is that the Department of Environmental Services is inviting residents to help shape the future of Oahu's water infrastructure through the Oahu Clean Water Survey, open now through August 23, 2026. And it's an opportunity for the community to provide input on water quality priorities to help guide ENV's integrated plan, which will direct funding toward wastewater and stormwater improvements across Oahu. And I think in Waikiki, this is an important topic. It is anywhere where I think there is density. Residents are encouraged to make their voices heard by visiting https://www.surveymonkey.com/r./ENVIP survey. So hopefully maybe the Waikiki Neighborhood Board can post that on your site. We had a ocean safety junior lifeguard program that just wound up for all the neighbor islands. And that's pretty much the summer news for the month of August.
All right. Do we have questions from the board? Do we have questions from the community? Yes, go ahead, sir.
Hi, thank you. My name is Jason Liang. I was wondering if it's possible to get the new managing director to attend the next board meeting for Waikiki. I believe that where we last left off was that Mike Formby was supposed to give us a response regarding the trash pickups in Waikiki. And I was just wondering if we could get the new managing director to provide a response and where that project is currently. Thank you.
I believe there was a town hall. Wasn't there a town hall, Chair Finley, on the trash pickup? Was there a follow-up action that was needed?
Yes, the managing director held one here, but he was continuing following up. So I think we're looking for the follow-up.
Okay.
I do have a question for you. I got an email from the Community Resilience Hub people saying that as of the 14th, they will no longer be there. Was that true, or was that
No, it's true. Yeah, so the community, I'm not sure if it's the Resilience Hub, but all the websites that have been maintained by the Office of Economic Revitalization will end on Friday, August 14th. And it's due to the funding cuts that we received, that the city received, that particular office, the Office of Economic Revitalization, will not exist after the 14th. So their projects are all coming to a close, including, I guess it must be the Resilience Hub and things like the Business Connector, and the different programs that they ran are no longer going to be offered.
the reason I ask is several of their condominiums spent a lot of money to provide the inputs that they demanded. And we'd like to know what happened, if those are being used for something or they're just being thrown away.
You mean the funds that were generated?
Several condominiums used the contractors provided for the survey. It cost up to $6,000 for the above. And we just wondered if we wasted our money or if that's actually going to be used by a different department.
Okay, I'll find out. Amy Asselby, who is the director of OER, is still working for the MD, so we can track that down.
Catherine, I think you had a.
Okay, what I'd like to know is who is going to reimburse the condominiums for this report that we had to put out, and for reasons unknown, what is going to happen to the data that was presented? And Bob mentioned a sum, but that was only for a 40-unit building. I do not know how much larger buildings, like, for instance, Discovery Bay or whoever, paid to have those reports done. I'd like to see our building get reimbursed $6,000.
I'm not really familiar with the project, so I can only, relay the
It's the
question.
project that asked every condominium in Waikīkī to provide their electric usage, their water usage, their gas usage, and their garbage usage.
Is that the Office of Climate Change, or is it the Office of Economic?
You can't say this is climate change. This is the bill that was passed in 2022 by Tommy Waters. And it required the condominiums to report these items.
Oh, I see, okay.
I did some research, and only the condominiums in Waikīkī were required to do it. I think that there's something terribly wrong with this. I'd like to see it remedied.
Was it what was the name of the fund again? Or the program? What
It was the resiliency report.
The resiliency report?
They had 2 official hotlines, and they presented here last month with a bunch of hooey, okay? And I'd like to get this investigated. And thank you, Bob.
I see Greg online.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I'm concerned with that issue too. I don't know if my association spent money, but I we'll find out. I am a director here, but I don't always get all the information. Honolulu Disposal Services. As I mentioned earlier, if you heard me speak, Nola, very concerning the creep back. And there's an email thread. Formby obviously is no longer there, but Krishna is, managing director. If I say his name right, Jayaram. I hope I pronounced that properly. Jayaram. So he's copied. I've emailed back a few times. There's residents on that email thread that are very upset. One of them, I asked them to tone it down a little bit. One used the term garbage goons, and I said, let's not disrespect the profession. But honestly, in the last 2 days, because I've gone downstairs at a little after 5 a.m. and I've met with HPD and I have videos of the way they were acting and refusing to leave. And at least before that, when I would call HPD, a year and a half, 2 years ago, they would come out whenever I did the last time. But it needs to stop, and there needs to be a town hall. And this is a violation of Department of Health state law, Title 11, Chapter 46. There's even a section where it's under agriculture. It says garbage collection. It's included. I've had the discussion with Department of Health. I asked them to come to the last town hall, and Krishna was emailing me separately, and then he didn't bring them. And now he's being a little bit disrespectful in his tone, if you look at the emails. And I believe, well, the mayor's copied, so you should have access to that. So that needs to stop. And what we need to start is the town hall, and we need HPD to enforce the laws that we currently have. I'm tired of hearing about the mufflers every time at these meetings when we're not talking about the pervasive negative health impacts daily of the early morning trash pickups that Carlino was talking about. And he's in Pennsylvania right now. He'll be back soon. But now I'm going to take the lead on this as a Kapuna advocate. And I've already said, if I have to file litigation, and I'm saying it right now, I will, on behalf of whoever wants to join with it. It needs to be addressed. And lastly, please investigate 444 and 448 Keoneana Street. I would like to know if they have a permit for their parking. They're under a special assignment and inspection versus a building permit. They're pile driving. They're doing a massive project there, 50-unit development. Again, it doesn't have a building permit. It's forgetting about the old processes that are, keeping us safe. Could you let me know if they have a parking permit to take over the street? And also, because I haven't gotten the answer on that. And also more about that project. I'd like to know a lot more about that project and why it's not properly permitted. These SAIs need to stop. We had one at my building for an improper project. So with that said, I hope you can assist with that. But it's very, very frustrating, the things that I'm seeing on a daily basis here. It's very frustrating. So mahalo for that.
So that was 444 Keoneana Street.
444 and 448 Keoneana Street. They were two single-family homes. They were demolished. I don't even think the permit was available yet for the demolished, but they were demolished, I think, before the permit came out, but I could be wrong. And then that lot sat empty, and there's graffiti everywhere on the fence. Please, if you could help with the graffiti too. The developer, the owner should at least, be gracious enough to get rid of the graffiti. Forget all the other things they're doing. But our entire street is taken over with A-frames, and I don't see one parking permit.
Thank you, Greg. You've used your 2 minutes.
Thank you.
I have Nate Sirota, board member.
Yeah, good evening. Good to see you, Noah. To clarify, it is the Office of the Office of Climate Change Sustainability and Resiliency that facilitates that program. And to correct, it is actually assessed against condos and all commercial buildings as well too. Dr. Kiloha Fox did provide a presentation to the board, I believe 2 meetings ago, if not the last one. That was just to clarify about that issue, so you know where that needs to be directed. And there actually was an announcement from the Office of Economic Revitalization. I have it right here, of all the programs that will be discontinued beginning this Friday. It's $4 million grant to Kona Low recovery, businesses affected by Kona Low. They don't have the staff anymore to facilitate that. Economic development representation is being suspended. comprehensive small business support, which included door-to-door business outreach for small business connection hubs, idea to biz business incubation program, sponsorship for community small business events, workforce development support, regenerative tourism support, innovation and tech support. And that's because of the slashes that were done by 6 of our council members, including our council representative as well. So if people want to ask what's happening with a lot of these economic programs, it was directly the result of Office of Economic Revitalization being gutted.
But
So you got,
Greg,
yeah.
can you just clarify okay, so the resiliency report that's required by the bill passed by Chair Waters in 2022, that's still continuing because it's under the Office of Climate Change?
Yes, that was not,
Okay,
to the best of my
okay,
knowledge,
so
that's
that,
not impacted by the
okay,
cuts. That
so
is
that
from
hasn't been
OCCSR.
discontinued,
Yes.
that's
Yeah,
continuing.
so Bob, I'm not
Yes,
sure.
that's a,
uh,
yeah, so
yeah.
as Nate said, that report or that bill or the project is being facilitated by Dr. Fox, who was here last month, who made the presentation from the Office of Climate Change and Resiliency. And that's what Nate is saying is that is not under the Office of Economic Revitalization, which is ceasing some of its programs, but not this one. This one is not under OER. I know they sound a little bit similar, but they're different. So the climate change and resiliency, I guess I'm sure it sounds like it's continuing.
So that goes back to my original question. A, who's paying back the condos for this expense? B, how is the report being used to benefit the people who did file? C, Chair Waters was here and he stated, you don't have to file this report. And it was supposed to be done by June the 30th. And I questioned him and he said, you have it on camera. I'm telling you, you don't have to file this report. And the final thing is, I want proof that the big hotels had to go through the same rigmarole that we went through.
Okay, well, I can try to find out. It sounds like this is a council bill. I don't know. I don't have enough information, but we'll get back to you about it. I mean, I wasn't here last month, so I'm not familiar with this particular project.
Anything else for the mayor? Seeing nothing else. Nola, thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is Councilmember Waters or one of his people online? Oh, there she is. You hid, you were there and then you moved over there.
Yeah. Good evening, Chair Finley and members of the board. My name is Alika. I am with Chair Waters' office. He is planning to attend tonight and just running a little bit behind. Would it be possible to push our presentation back a little bit?
I'll be happy to do that unless any board member has concerns. I don't see any. Thank you. We'll wait for the council member to be
Thank
here.
you so much.
Is Senator Moriwaki or a representative here? Seeing none. Is Representative Tam or a representative here? I do see we have written reports from him. Oh, yes. Please use microphone.
Hi, I'm Flora, Representative Tam's office manager. He says, I'm sorry I could not attend tonight, but I wanted to express my sincerest appreciation for the privilege to serve you again another term. I look forward to working with the board and the Legislation Committee on Bills for the next legislative session. Thank you all again, and I'll see you in September, if not sooner. I just wanted to add one thing about the food trucks is that our office has been in contact with both the property owner, multiple constituents, and the community policing team about that. And we haven't got a lot of traction, but we'll keep working on it. I don't have any other major things to report, but I can take questions back to the representative or try to answer any questions you do have. We are already drafting legislation. So, for example, we're working on the noise camera bill again this year that would make the program permanent and be able to issue fines. There were concerns last year about data sensitivity, and so we've added a clause that would protect the data that's collected through that program. That's one example. But we're obviously always open for your suggestions or legislation ideas, and you can send them starting today.
Board members, do you have any questions to take back to the representative? Members of the community, do you have questions? Yes, sir. Please use the microphone.
I've been talking to Representative Tam and very grateful for his project initiated at noise cameras. But I want to offer one moment. We have 3 streets, noisy vehicles coming from 3 streets, and the camera stays on our Moana. And it's not screening much of traffic because it's only one sort of traffic. If camera be moved to Kawakawa, it will take all the traffic. Can you please give it to?
Sure, we can share this with Director Sniffen. I know that we are hoping, if the noise camera program becomes permanent, to have additional locations, and that the locations that where the cameras currently are they can be moved. So thank you for this feedback. I will share it with Director Sniffen. Does anyone else have questions?
Anything else from the community? Greg, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Just a quick question. Aloha, Alika. How are you? Just a moment ago, I was asking a question about a development project on my that I'm very concerned about. It's been a vacant lot after they demoed the 2 single-family homes there for quite a while, and it's had a giant wooden fence that was erected. I don't know if there was a permit to even put the fence up. It's full of graffiti. It's like the most graffiti you'll ever see in San Francisco. When I was in Oakland filming something, there's like graffiti everywhere, and it's like that. So about the project, if you could write down the address, it's 444 and 448 Keoniana Street, Keoniana. It's right off of Kalakaua. I'd like to know about this 50-unit affordable housing project. I should know because I live right next door, and I should have received something in the mail to talk about it. And they're pile driving. They've taken over the street. They're not respectful of our street, the workers. They just have taken it over. I don't see any permit posted for all of the parking spots that they've taken with the A-frames. Again, you know, the work that's being done, as I mentioned earlier, if you heard me, is under a special assignment inspection. That's basically an internal pay-to-play way to get things done through DPP where you don't go through the normal permitting process. And they could literally build that building, I believe, from my understanding, and then get the permit issued at the end. That's not the way we should be working. And I'm going to be addressing this with the Speed Task Force and our legislators. But could you find out about this project? Rep Tam has my email address. I'd like an email with some information, and
Sure,
I'd like to know more about it, if you could.
Greg.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other questions for the representative? Yes, go ahead, Sarah. Sure.
I just looked very quickly, and I'm not saying that all of the permitting is correct, but there was a demo permit for the single family, and there are 4 other permits that are open and in progress for trenching and different things. So I'm not sure exactly, but there are some permits with a real quick search.
Anything else for Representative Tam? Seeing nothing else. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. Yvonne, from the governor's office?
Hey, good evening, everyone. Not too much to report. Obviously, the election, we a strong mandate for this governor to move forward and other elected reps as well. So some have been mentioned here tonight. A few things in the newsletter, just the record number of awards, Hawaiian Homelands in July, a couple hundred, which is pretty amazing, although not directly relevant to this board. Taking note of the ongoing noise and trash pickup concerns and other things minuted from the last one. I'll be taking those back to the office, but if anyone here wants to add concerns, issues, or other things that I might address to Gov's team, just let me know.
Greg, you have 2 minutes.
Aloha,
Greg,
Yvonne.
there.
Just,
Hey,
you
Greg.
heard what I said. I'm on the trash truck, so I'm not going to have to repeat. But if you could take back to the governor, and I did copy the governor's office on my last email. So if you could take back to his office the concern that I have, again, as a Kapuna advocate, also, I'm about to turn 61 this month. And just for the residents that are being tortured by this, I am literally sleep deprived in the last couple of months because they've creeped back and they're going earlier and earlier. And I finally had it yesterday, so I did go all HPD. But as a doctor, he should recognize and know that sleep deprivation due to being woken up improperly when it's a violation, it is a violation of the Department of Health's regulations. Again, Title 11, Chapter 46. Your copy, there's a Civil Beat story back in 2020 about it, and it also violates our state constitution for having peaceful enjoyment of our environment. If you could take that just back to the governor, and I would like him to be involved in this, because although it's maybe just Waikīkī or these urban areas, it's so much of our population that's being impacted. And there's quite a few people that are copied on that. And I had a very cordial conversation with the sales director twice, yesterday and today, but I thought it would go away today, but it got worse. I had 2 scout trucks. Instead of 1, I had 2 crisscrossing, and it was twice loud. It was like, stereo. So that needs to stop, and our rules and laws need to be enforced. And also with this development project, because if they build a 50-unit building for affordable housing and they don't go by the proper codes or the inspections aren't there, and you're going to have deferred maintenance issues or problems, just like we have with the rail. I drive by the rail and I see crazing and cracking in the columns. And I know they're going to fail at some point. That's my summary at the end. So if you could take back, I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. Aloha.
Thank you. Anything else? Yes, Tim.
Aloha. You mentioned the noise, so I'll just bring this up to you. Council Chair Waters had an idea of, instead of having metal dumpsters, have plastic that would maybe reduce some of the noise. I'm not sure if the state has considered that or may want to consider that, just to help reduce the noise level. Thank you.
Any other questions from the community?
It's the backup beep sound, just so to clarify, backup beeping sound
Thank
of
you.
the trucks, the scout trucks.
Thank you. Yeah. By the way, are you on the committee that is doing the next Western Governors Convention?
I'm connected to it, an adjunct, I guess I would call myself. I'm aware of the conference.
Yeah, I just for the heck of it, I was on the one in 1968. And if you're putting license plates on the cars, this works really well. You do not get any speeding tickets or any parking tickets. So if you want to take this back to the committee,
Well done.
happy to turn that over to you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chair.
Chair Waters is not here yet. Senator Moriwaki is not here yet. We'll go on to Trevor Abrazawa called me and said he is not going to be with us tonight, but I'm going to send him some notices tomorrow. New board business, gentleman from the Centennial Park is here. There he is. They're doing a lot of work over there, but they're not getting rid of too many of the chickens. The chickens are still running around.
The chickens are on the agenda. My name is Rob Hale. I am the chair of the Honolulu Rotary Club Centennial Park Committee. And we signed a contract with the city. It's a city park, city owns it, but the Rotary Club raised the funds and is doing the construction to build it out. If I had told you in 2016 that I would be here in 2026 still talking about construction, I would have told you you're crazy. But here I am in the process. The 2018, we went through the process and discovered that the park was going to cost us 4 times as much as the original estimate when we signed the contract because of a lot of unforeseen conditions that came up. And because of that big increase in cost, we've had to break it into phases and increments with the process of beginning only doing construction when we had the money to go ahead. The good news, we finished the first phase, which was make it green and open it to the public. And we are working on the phase 2, which is to finish the park. We are currently under construction on the last major component of that phase. There is some follow-up that we'll have to do at the end, which I'll get into. But this phase basically is dealing with the removal of the chain link fence around the outside of the park and the construction of a new fence. The chain link fence is the one that was shown on the here, and the new park will look something like this. It has a rock wall at the bottom at about the same height, and it has pickets, these little spears on the top is the only difference here. So it is back on the park property line, which means there is quite a space. If you look at the drawing with the fence, the white line here is where the new wall will be. That's the concrete footing for it. So there is quite a space that is being developed outside of the park. We've had discussions with the city and trying to deal with some of the issues. And in looking at it, one thing I've learned in this project is I have a great deal of empathy for the park personnel. They are in a sword fight with their hands behind their back and a blindfold on, trying to deal with all the issues in the process. They're limited what they can do, and our goal is to try to develop a relationship with the Trevor's group, the Waikīkī Business Improvement District, to take over some of the issues that are dealing with the park. They have a better capability of doing response. One of those items, for example, is the Parks Department has 0 enforcement personnel. They have to call in police officers for any little infraction or any little deal, someone walking a dog in the park or something, it has to get a police report. And Waikīkī Special Design District group, the neighborhood friends, have a more friendly way of dealing with that and trying to deal with the problems. So our goal is to eventually establish a relationship with them. The public park issues in the order that they came up are maintenance, dogs, homeless, pigeons, and chickens. And if Nate was here, I'm not sure if he's on the screen or not, but Nate would tell you that the biggest problem is the chickens right now. They are, and believe me, I get the messages also from, there's a chicken in your park and it woke me up at 3 a.m. type of thing. So we're trying to deal with those issues in the process. Nate would like to try to open the park to more dogs, hoping that the dogs would chase the chickens out. I tell them I have a friendly mongoose that I can bring down, but our concern on the dogs is maybe only 1% of the owners are not responsible for what they're doing and picking up after their pet, but it's a small park, and that 1% has chased most of the kids and the people trying to do picnic layouts and sit down and do things in the park. So for the Parks Department to try to come to a resolution, it's a big challenge, and we're working on it. Once we finish this phase of construction, the park is currently closed from now until the end of October. And once that process is finished, there's two components that we have to finish. One is adding the signage, and the other one is some landscape improvements to make it easier to maintain. One of the things we had in the park that you may have noticed recently, we had some wonderful torch ginger, which really looked very nice and was growing very well. There are two problems. One, it requires weekly maintenance of going in by hand to trim all of the pieces, which the city just doesn't have the personnel to do that kind of service. And the second was it became a great hiding place for homeless in the process. So we're trying to make some adjustments like that to make the park more community friendly and open. That's sort of my presentation. If there's any questions, I'd be glad to try to answer.
Questions from the board?
I'm a fellow Rotarian, so I applaud what you're doing. Do you lock the park at a certain hour?
The very first question we had when we finished the park in the process was, hey, how come you didn't how you did not lock the park last night? And everyone goes home at 4:30. The park is open to 7 o'clock. So
Well,
there is no
hire a
one
high school.
in
Fair enough.
place
Come on,
who
hire a high
has
school.
a key and can
Come on,
lock it.
hire a high school kid to go over there, open it up and close it up, give them a few extra bucks. There's a way around that. And that would prevent a lot of the problems you're going through. I applaud the new fence because the old fence looks like crap. But
Well, once we get the new gates in the process, at that point, then the city does have an arrangement. I believe it's through the Waikīkī Trevor's Group for someone who's locked some of the other parks already, and they can add this park onto it at that time.
what about the Goodwill people that go around Waikīkī? Can they help with that project? You know what I'm talking about? The guys in the vest?
Yeah, those are the people we're trying to get to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Board members, any other questions? Ooh. Sarah?
I hope I'm not back 10 years from now, still. We'll get there. Thank you very much.
Just a second, sir. Sarah, did you have a question?
Oh.
Sarah, did you have a question?
No.
Oh, sorry. This is a very small screen. We're trying to pick people up. Okay, thank you.
Apologies.
I just wondered, when you finish with the fence, sir, on this side. I just wondered, when you finish with the fence, which is on the property line, does the city intend to widen the sidewalks around the park?
No, not that I'm aware of. There was some drawings that relocated the sidewalk a little bit, but it's still, the goal is to create a substantial green space around the outside of the park. And we are hoping that that area will become the dog area, dog walking area.
There are dogs everywhere, yes. Any other questions?
I'm a dog person, by the way, but I have concerns about the park.
Yes. I see no more questions. Thank you for doing the job on the park. We appreciate the Rotary for spending the time, effort, and energy to, first of all, build it and then maintain it with the city. So appreciate it, sir.
And thank you all. Thank you all.
Is there somebody here from the Resilience Hub? Is that person here? I do not see there, but I do see Chair Tommy Waters back here, who has arrived. Chair, would you like to take the microphone?
Oh, aloha members. Sorry I was late today. I had to jump in the ocean. It's been a kind of stressful last couple weeks, as you can imagine. The water felt good. It's very cleansing. Chair, would you like me to talk about the good fun stuff or the serious stuff first?
Give us the fun stuff.
Okay. Well, our very own Shannon Smith's up for a vote tomorrow. So if you guys can submit testimony on her behalf, because I think she's going to be a great commissioner. So that's first of all. And that's first on the agenda. So we'll get through this without you having to wait all day long. So that's good. But, you know, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do this job, right? It's totally up in the air. So I do want to recognize two more of your members, Chair, if I may. In grateful recognition of your dedicated service as a member of the Waikīkī Board and for your lifelong commitment to community service, your leadership and volunteerism with numerous civic and nonprofit organizations have strengthened our community and positively impacted the lives of countless residents. Mahalo for your enduring dedication to public service and your continued effort to improve the quality of life for the people of Hawaii. Catherine Hensky. Oh, yeah. Okay, I have one more. In grateful recognition of your dedicated service to the people of Hawaii as Research Director for the Hawaii State Minority Caucus, and as a valued member of the Waikīkī Neighborhood Board, where you serve as Chair of the Legislative Engagement Committee, your leadership, professionalism, and commitment to public service have strengthened our community and advanced sound public policy. Mahalo for your dedication to improving the quality of life for the people of Hawaii. Your contributions continue to make a meaningful and lasting impact. Jillian Anderson. Oh. No, you guys are awesome. Thank you for your service. Of course, of course. Okay. I think Tim Gary had already talked about a few things, but I introduced the number of bills that are on the agenda for tomorrow. And they are Bill 52, 53, Bill 45, 46, 47, and Resolution 26-159. And I introduced them all, and how you know that is you turn to the back and it has my signature on it. One of the things that I believe we are supposed to do as council members is introduce legislation and do our best to get it passed. But as you know, I can't get that done without all your help, right? That parades bill really was a community effort. Remember, that thing took a long time, but we finally got it done. But same with these, and if I may, Chair, hand them out to you, you can take a look at it and pass them down. Bill 52 addresses higher fines for illegal peddling, which you'll see there. Bill 53 relates to shopping carts. this is the one that Tim Gary has been nagging me about for months, actually, years. But, basically it makes shopping carts outside of the shopping center illegal. Yeah, even though it says Foodland or Safeway on it, and it's clearly stolen, the police don't actually do anything about it. So this gives them another tool to say, hey, look, that's not legal to have, and they can confiscate it and take it away. Yeah, all you got to do is drive around town, and you just count them on the shopping carts out there. I've done my research. At its cheapest, when the store buys them in bulk, it could be as low as $350 from China. But if they don't buy them in bulk like that, they're up to like $1,000. And guess who pays for that? All of us in your food bill. So the idea here is to make them illegal, give the police the tools that they can confiscate the cart, because up until now, they won't confiscate it. But you'll find them in the LOI, you'll find them in the harbor, you'll find them in rivers, you'll find them all over the place. And this is just the tool. I expect some folks to be against it. So that's where the community, if you believe as I do that this is a problem in our city, please come on and testify. I know, Jillian, you already submit testimony, so thank you so much. But if you all think it's a good idea after taking a look at it, please submit testimony. Super easy, honolulucitycouncil.org, and you can go online and testify through the phone if you want, or again, just submit written testimony. That'd be super helpful. Bill 54 related to parking near hiking trails. This really doesn't apply to Waikīkī, but in other parts of my district, people will park right in front of other people's driveways, like in Kulia'o. It's so bad. And these poor people who live there have to deal with that every single day. I really think it's because of the internet, right? People now know these hiking trails that are super popular when before they didn't. But if they were just respectful and not park in front of people's driveways, not borrow people's hoses to rinse off and not leave their garbage there, I don't think we would have this problem. And again, Bill 45 and Bill 46 raises the homeowner's exemption for everyone from $140,000 to $160,000, and for kupuna from $180,000 to $200,000. And then Bill 47 relates to motor vehicle tax. So we all pay 7.5 cents per pound for your vehicle. So if you have a bigger vehicle, of course, you're paying more money. But for some vehicles, you're paying close to $700. And the neighbor islands pay about a third of what we pay. So, I still think we got to tinker with this bill because it applies to everyone, including commercial vehicles. And it's going to cost the city about $34 million if we pass it as is. So I'm thinking of possibly amending it to take out commercial vehicles out of that. So it just affects residents. And then resolution 26-159, protecting Hawaii's marine life, urging the State Board of Land and Natural Resources to direct the Department of Land, urges the Department of Land and Natural Resources, Division of Aquatic Resources to adopt rules prohibiting the harvest of aquatic life from the state marine waters and commercial aquarium purposes. So DLNR is about to pass rules that allow for the harvest of aquatic fish, basically for aquariums. Up until recently, they didn't allow it, and all of a sudden they're going to allow it now. And really, the thought is everybody who is against this says that it's sustainable, but at the council, we're voting on this tomorrow. We're saying it's not sustainable and you shouldn't be allowed to do it because they'll basically catch them and ship them off to the mainland, right? All of our tropical fish. I think that's it, and I'm available for questions.
Questions from board members? Questions from board members? Sarah?
Aloha, Chair Waters.
Aloha.
It's great that you introduced 4 bills, one of which actually, city and county doesn't have any say in it. It's just basically you would support the state doing something about it. And I would love to know if there's a bill for the things that this community does complain about every single meeting. Is there a bill about the garbage trucks? Because we have established now that city and county can pass regulations on garbage truck companies. How about, is there a bill for fixing that bathroom? I know people have been talking month after month for years now. Has that been addressed? So it's great that you have these other bills, but the ones that Waikīkī cares about most, I'm not seeing any movement on that. And I know you mentioned last meeting that the reason why you weren't addressing the garbage trucks too was because they showed you a video about how dangerous it is collecting trash during business hours. But sir, years before they did it before, the city does it, everyone else does it. There has to be a way that they can safely collect garbage during business hours. It might not be as fast, but it can be done. And third, I do have to say, sir, I am disappointed in the fact that I don't understand why you ran for a third term thinking that just because you had 4 months where you weren't officially in that seat, that you qualified for a third term, because on that kind of mentality, so would you get into the third term and then after 4 months leave it? So I did find that disappointing. You are an attorney, so I really would have hoped for more. Thank you, sir.
Okay, first, the bathrooms. That's not really something we can legislate, you know, but we did put money in the budget to fix the bathroom. Yeah. So at this point, it's really up to the mayor and the administration to go ahead and do it, right? The legislative branch, like we're in charge of appropriating money and we make policy, right? It's just not really appropriate. It'd be weird to pass a bill saying that, you know, you have to, it's against the law if you don't fix this bathroom. You know what I mean? That's not how things work. But we should put pressure on the mayor to say, hey, we want this bathroom fixed and we want it fixed yesterday, right? I'm willing to stand with you all to say that. And I have been talking to everyone about this at the council and the administration to get this done. And by the way, it's not just Waikiki's bathrooms. The bathrooms all across the whole island are horrible, like horrible. You know, I paddled canoe on the Alawa and the bathroom over there, we fixed it. The city and county fixed it. Within 6 months, it was just trashed. And just terrible, terrible. What I'd like to see though, the park staff go through there 2 or 3 times a day, 4 or 5 times a day even, instead of just once in the morning and once in the afternoon, to chase these guys out of there. You got guys in there unhooking the water, taking a shower with the water, then just leaving it, and it's just water everywhere, right? So it really is an enforcement issue in my mind, not a legislative fix. And again, we put the money in, the city council puts the money in to fix these bathrooms. And it's just super disheartening when we finally do fix it and it just gets ruined. Second thing about the garbage pickup, you know, we've talked about this actually every month for a year now. And I really did defer to the mayor and the administration, who did a lot of work looking into the safety issue. And really, the idea is that it's unsafe for these garbage trucks to be running around later in the day. You know, I really am encouraging them maybe to use different bins, right? They looked into using these rubber bins, but they're not sturdy enough when people drop the garbage down the garbage chute and they come slamming down. They're not sturdy enough, but maybe we could put like a metal plate on the bottom of that, because that's really what's making the noise. Those are the backup trucks. They're just trying to get creative. And then lastly, about the third term. So we'd make it an inquiry whether or not, and I'm an attorney, and I think the board member is an attorney. It's really up for interpretation. And my feeling is, let's let the Supreme Court decide, you know, whether or not 3 years, 3.5 years equals 4 years, right? Was I elected to a 4-year term? No, I was elected to a 3.5-year term. But my feeling is, let the voters decide. You folks don't, well, I don't want to be someplace where I'm not wanted. You know what I mean? But I will tell you this, I was kind of happily surprised. I actually got like almost 9,000 votes, which is fantastic. By the way, Jason Lee, I want to just thank him. You know, you're on a spirited campaign and you did a really good job. And don't give up. And I follow you on Instagram and I know you say you're not going to give up and you really shouldn't because you again ran a really good campaign. You may want to intervene in the lawsuit though, because if I'm not in there, my votes might go to you. You know what I mean? You just never know. So anyway, but yeah, my feeling is let the Supreme Court decide because under the current ruling, check this out. If you were elected to say a 1-year term, like for whatever reason, the courts didn't resolve a dispute for some reason and you're elected to a 1-year term. Under the judge's current ruling, that 1 year would count towards a 4-year term. So technically you'd get 1 year plus another 4. So is that fair? I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to be here until January, guys. So, you know, I really enjoy working with you. You guys are one of my favorite boards. I've had 7 boards, by the way. Now 6 because I don't have Ala Moana anymore, but I'll be here for a while. We still got a lot of work that we can do together. Yeah.
Chair, we did have a question from board member Nate Sirota. Nate, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Evening, Tommy.
Hi, Nate.
I saw with Bill 52, it's increasing the fines for peddling. Were you still planning on doing a town hall about musicians and peddling, or was this kind of the effort that you were talking about in that regard?
No, this is completely separate. This just increases the fines. But I still
Okay.
want to work with you all to figure out if we can have street performers in designated areas, right? And then they register, pay a registration fee and get their general excise tax license. This is completely different, Nate. But I'm
Okay.
going to need your help and everybody else's help to figure out where exactly these go. Part of the problem at this point is nobody in the city, various departments, they don't want to run it. Nate Arbazur from the Waikīkī Business Improvement District is willing to help with it, but I can't get any of the departments, and I'm kind of pushing the Department of Enterprise Services to take it over. At some point, I might just put it in the bill and say, okay, you have to do it. But again, I'm not going to do this without you all's support. And so far, the feedback from you folks has been really good. Like, yeah, let's do that. By the way, I saw that guy with what he plays the drum, the snare drum, like one snare drum. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about, right? I saw him walking across McCully with his cart and his drum. So he's not even from Waikīkī. He's coming from outside and coming in here and just banging away.
Here, I just
Hi,
want to
Vic.
stick my 2 cents in anyway. I just want to say that, I mean, I've been on this board probably 25 years, and I think you're just about the best council member we have had
Oh,
in all my time. And I am,
thank you.
I am definitely very perturbed about the way this litigation has gone, and I certainly hope there's some way to reverse that in time for the election. I mean, no matter what, I think that you have been and you are a great public servant, and I certainly want to express my appreciation on behalf of the board and the entire Waikīkī community for everything that you've done for us and everything I hope that you'll continue to do for us. So
Oh,
thank
thank
you.
you. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, guys. By the way, I get called every single day by the Honolulu Star Advertiser and Civil Beat, and I don't want to do these interviews. I'm like, just let the court decide, right? I don't want to be out there advocating one way or the other. But my feeling, and I'll tell you folks this, is let the people decide, right? But yeah, they call me every day, like every day.
Chair, I have one more hand up.
Sure.
Greg?
Oh,
Aloha, thank you, Chair. Aloha, Council
Aloha.
Chair Waters. missed you at my candidate forum where I had the other three candidates. So we had a very spirited, nice forum. And excuse me, because I'm going to grab him and hold him on my lap. I've got my cat here that I've got to hold because he's on chemo treatment. So he's just came home today from the hospital. So yeah, we had that, and the KITV picked up on it, and they posted some clips. But I do agree. When I analyze this, I think the rule of law is clear what the intent of the people are. And I always say at these board meetings, these neighborhood board meetings, the people, it's about the people. It's not about what you want. And you are an attorney, but it's what the people want. And if the people in that charter decision said we want to limit it to 2 terms, 2 elected terms, and you challenged an election, that's what the people wanted. And if you go by what the people wanted originally, you challenged what the people's vote was twice. So that's an issue. But let's just leave that alone for now. I just wanted to say that because I do share Ms. Board Member Worth's opinions. Garbage collection. I hope you guys stop talking about the trash truck clanking. It's the backup beeping sound of the scout trucks. If I hear that one more time, I'm really going to get upset, because at this point, if you're not educated enough to know what the real issue is with the backup beeping of the scout trucks, those aren't the regular trash trucks that get the garbage. They're the ones that get the containers, and they come for hours around my area and my street. It takes them just on my street up to an hour to go in and out of all of these buildings to get all of the containers. They've started back as early as 4 a.m. It needs to stop. The city and county of Honolulu needs to understand that ultimately you will be liable if HPD and others don't enforce the laws, and there
Please
is
summarize,
litigation
sir.
going
You've used
forward.
your
You're in
2 minutes.
litigation, and hopefully there won't be
Thank
more.
you.
It's very important that you understand that this trash issue has been going on for a long time. Every time I hear that about the clanking, and Tim said it earlier, please stop. It's the scout trucks. I'll show you the video. I'll share you the videos. I have 2 of them, or multiple videos from yesterday and this morning. I'm
Thank
not
you.
getting sleep. I need sleep. It's a health issue. Mahalo.
Tim,
Thanks, Greg.
Dan?
Yeah. Thank you, Chair. I want to echo what Lou said. Certainly appreciate your time and effort for this board. I don't want you to take this as a gotcha question, but I did just think of it based on your comments about the trash truck. Are you aware of anybody ever having been injured by a trash truck in the city and county of Honolulu?
No,
Backing up?
no.
I would be curious to know, because, that I went to the town hall and I've been thinking about this. It's about safety. Then where's the evidence? Was there a specific instance that alerted the trash trucks? Maybe we should be going in the middle of the night. But I've listened to it for a long time, and I feel like it's more of a preference on the trash truck companies to pick up in the middle of the night. I've heard the safety arguments, but just tonight, you claimed, this is a safety thing. Tell me how many people have been injured. I'd appreciate if you could look into that and find out. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Tim?
Yeah, I echo Lou's feelings 100%. Can you let us know when you're going to have a hearing on the emergency management and the tsunami fiasco? And when is the audit or the action report going to come out on the response of the Kona low? Both of these are highly critical of the director running the department. Thank you.
Is the board, so I got the after action report for the tsunami warning that happened a year ago. I finally got that report. Would you guys like me to email it to you all so you could read it? Okay, I'm happy to do that. That took a year. So I'm not holding my breath on the Kona low, but as soon as I get that, I'll keep the pressure on for that one as well. Because part of the reason we do it is so that we can learn from our mistakes, right? And clearly, right, at least in the tsunami one, evacuating was a problem. Alawai and other side streets are gridlock all the way to the freeway. And we got to figure out how to fix that because we had a lot of time to prepare in that instance. But, you know, if this happens and we only got like an hour, what are we going to do? Really, we're supposed to shelter in place, though, go up.
I think we have one last question. Did you have your hand up, sir?
Hey, Justin. Jason.
Hi, good evening, Chair Waters. Jason, my name is Jason Liang. I want to thank you for the kind words, but I'm also going to push back a little bit regarding the trash pickups. It just seems like we are trading a hypothetical visible harm when we're inflicting an invisible harm on all the residents. I think it would be a simple matter to have another employee guard for traffic or pedestrians for a short amount of time in order to preserve people's sleep. I don't really perceive that as a worthwhile trade-off that these folks do their job in a shorter manner but disrupt everybody. And I think that's just what the situation appears to be. And I would appreciate it if this matter was corrected and we passed some legislation to stop this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, I do want to thank the mayor actually and Mike Formby, who's no longer with the city. They did a lot of work on this issue, right? And especially Mike Formby, I really think he did a good job as managing director. And he personally looked into this as well as not one, but I think 2 or 3 other department heads. And they came to the conclusion that it was a safety issue. But to your point, you know, I can't point to anybody who got hurt. So that's a fair criticism. But the idea really would be, though, folks, if they had to come after 6:30, they'd make one run out to Campbell Industrial Park at, you know, ReWorld, what do they call that? H-Bar. Then they turn around and fight traffic, come back. So the second pickup would probably be closer to noon, I would guess. And we all know what it's like at noon. Yeah. Well, with all the
People are on
deliveries
the
and
beach.
whatnot.
People are on the beach at noon. We had the Department of Transportation come and do a presentation on when is sidewalks of Waikīkī most populated, and it's at 7, 8 o'clock at night. So, you know, and the roads are only busy during rush hour traffic because it's Highway Waikīkī. You know, if you go in the middle of the day on the work day, people are out on the beach or North Shore somewhere else, but they're not driving down Kuhio or Kalakaua even.
Yeah. You know, it might be worthwhile to do a pilot project to see. That's kind of fair. See if it works. If it works, heck, we could do it. And if it doesn't work, you know, then we don't do it.
We have a gentleman who's attending his first meeting and he had his hand up. Please ask your question.
Hey, how you guys doing? Jake DeFalco, Army vet, resident here in Waikīkī. And I came here to see what's going on in the community and everything. Like, so far, so good. But we have this Zoomer calling in, trolling the meeting, disrupting this whole meeting the whole time. Every time someone speaks, this guy's coming on a Zoom call, just rambling on. And I think I'm not the only one that feels this way. So I would like to get back to the meeting and let's learn some things here, guys. Let's roll. Thanks.
Thank you, Jake.
Go ahead, Rolf.
Is that a friend of Council Chair Waters that just did that? That's unacceptable and it should have been stopped, Chair Finley.
I've never met the gentleman, but.
Chair, may I speak? I wanted to say thanks for the efforts at the Kapahulu crosswalks. They've all been repainted, and there's been a message painted on the street that says "Ped Crossing." So I think that I'm grateful that this has finally been done, and that we've looked at these zoo crosswalks. And I thank you for putting money in the budget.
Thank you.
One last question, and then we will move on.
Thank you. I just want to tell about this garbage truck. With my observation, streets are clean at 9 p.m. So garbage truck came at 9 p.m. because I see that no, not much cars on the street, only motorcycles. I will be happy to see garbage truck do not let the motorcycles raving over the night. Started at 9. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Chair, it's been wonderful working with you, and we look forward to the rest of the year, at least. I can't say who I support in an election, of course,
No
but
problem.
I think the board has been very pleased with the response we've got from you and your staff over this past several years. And are the bills that you asked us for support on, are those all first reading?
No, a few of them are first reading and a few of them are second reading.
The-
So the tax, the cost of living bills are second reading. And the shopping cart one and the peddling is first reading.
Okay, so we can go on WebEx or whatever your system is and testify we like it or we don't like it.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So board members, if you can go online, you don't have to go all the way down to City Hall. It is this downtown City Hall. It's not out in the country.
Yep, we're
Where,
doing it.
where you kept me for 8 hours one day to testify, as I recall. But anyway, thank you. Thank you, Chair. It's wonderful working with you.
Thank you. Thank you, board.
We'll see you. Next on our agenda, we have our two committees. The Public Safety Committee, Tim.
Thank you, Chair. Before I actually read the committee report, I would make a request that in the future, can the minutes that we took and that were sent in, could they just be attached to our agenda? That way, instead of having to read the report, people would already be able to see what we talked about in the minutes. And then the report during the meeting, we could just talk about anything that's kind of major or any new information, just to save time. Okay.
Anson will take care of it.
Awesome, thank you. So the Public Safety Committee met Monday, July 29th at the Waikīkī Business Improvement District office, as well as online. The guest speaker was a representative from the Honolulu Prosecutor's Office. HPD had representatives, including Major Okamoto there as well. The Safe and Sound program has been successful with crime decreasing overall. Topics discussed included loud noise, traffic issues, mental health and substance abuse concerns, and homelessness. Just a couple updates from our previous meeting. The prosecutor's office is looking into the sit-lie ordinance's wheelchair exception, and Trevor of the Waikīkī Business Improvement District is working on getting the word out to business owners to be willing to press charges against those who commit crimes against their businesses. Regarding loud noise, Senator Moriwaki and the representative from Representative Tam's office discussed past and potential future legislation. So issues we will be working on include trying to increase punishment for certain offenses and making it easier to enforce laws such as loud noise. For our next meeting, we're trying to get a member of the judiciary as our guest speaker. And a future meeting, at a future meeting, we will be discussing how drug trafficking affects youth. And we'll hear more about that next month. Thank you.
Thank you. Jillian, anything from legislation?
Yeah, I'll be brief tonight, as at our last meeting, Tim provided the summary for the first meeting of the Legislative Engagement Committee, which took place on July 2nd. But tonight I'm announcing the second meeting, which is going to take place in 2 weeks from today on Tuesday, August 25th at 6 p.m. at Waikīkī Business Improvement District's headquarters. So an agenda will be going out in about a week on that if you want more information. And as of right now, we're still building that. So from tonight, there's been a lot of great topics brought up that some of them will get on agenda. But if any members of the community or of the board want anything specifically to discuss at that meeting, which hopefully will be attended by some of our elected officials, their staffs, board members, please let us know. And I just would like to say that it is a very encouraging thing that at our last meeting, we discussed peddling and we discussed shopping carts. And now to see both of those on agenda tomorrow at City Council, we're happy that action's being taken. So we're hoping to continue in that trajectory with our second meeting next week, 2 weeks from today, Tuesday, August 25th.
Thank you. Moving along, any report? Well, Jeff Mers is in Germany. Oh, the minutes. I forgot the minutes. Do we have any corrections from the minutes from last month? Do we have any opposition supporting the minutes, opposing the minutes as drafted? Any abstentions? I didn't hear that. Minutes are then by mutual consent. Oh, okay. One abstention, Sarah. So all in favor of the minutes, show of hands. Any opposed? Nate, are you in favor? Melissa? Okay. Melissa?
Yeah, in favor.
Yes. One abstention. Moving along, Sub-District 1, Jeff Mers is in Germany. Jillian, anything from Sub-District 2?
Yeah, I do just have a quick update. For those of you who live in Sub-District 2, you might recall all the way back in October of 2023, a car in the middle of the night rammed through the guardrail on the McCully Bridge where it turns onto Alawai Boulevard, that southwestern portion. Since then, there was a temporary repair done where what was usually metal, there's a small portion that's wood with orange netting. So because this is a view from the condo that I live in and multiple other condos, some of my neighbors asked for an update on it. So I did reach out to the city, and it doesn't necessarily seem like it was on their radar since 2023, but it seems like conversations did happen following that email with some city departments, and it is going to be put out for bid this fiscal year. So there is some traction if you've been seeing the damage that took place at that guardrail.
Very good. Catherine, anything going on Sub-District 3? Well, actually, there is. The Honolulu Zoo, which is not in our area, is offering to take 2 or 3 members of this board and give them the tour of the zoo education program. If anybody would like to do that, please okay, Rolf, you're in charge. I'm going to give you this, so give the name. Because, and it's informal because it is not our district. Melissa?
I'd
Yes.
like to participate in that with Rolf if possible.
Okay, Rolf, you have Melissa's email? Okay, please coordinate with her. Sorry, this is on sub-districts. Yes, Greg.
Chair Finley, I don't see my name on the list of people for the last meeting, but I do see I commented on things in the meeting. So the guests, unless I'm just not seeing it. Just wanted to point that out.
Check.
If it could be corrected, you just voted on the meeting
We'll take
minutes.
care of that, sure. Absolutely.
Thank you.
We'll go on to chair report. As the chair, I was invited to have a meeting with the new police chief on August 6th. It was a meeting only for neighborhood board chairs and members of the city council. They introduced, did all the good stuff and then asked us, what do we want to see? Changes made to police department. I referred them on to our public safety committee. For us, other people had interesting thoughts like turn off the blue lights so you can sneak up on people. I didn't think that was a good idea. But anyway, each board, there were about 30% of the neighborhood board chairs, and they all had interesting comments. And I look forward to the new chief visiting with us. The Kalia Cultural Entertainment Center, 2055 Kalakaua. Do you guys know where that is? It's by Fort DeRussy on Kalakaua. They're going to be doing construction work on Kalakaua on the street. Hawaiian Electric is digging it up for an extremely long time, from August 17th to October 17th, except on weekends and holidays. And we just heard about Bill 53. And the Neighborhood Commission Office is coming up with a guidebook that's updated for the first time in about 10 years. It's bringing up what we do, what out of the neighborhood plan, out of the state laws, out of OIP, and that should be available, I hope, soon. So basically, look forward to the guidebook. It answers a lot of questions about how we do our meetings and stuff like that. So having said that, this is an unusual night. We got done early. I don't know why, but somebody never gave me a gavel, so I can't gavel the meeting closed. Anson. So the meeting is hereby adjourned.